welcome back to my channel. So today, as you can see from the title, I'm doing a different kind of video. I wanted to do a video in very early celebration of the 20-year anniversary of Harry Potter that is going on HBO, I think on New Year's Day. I've long, since pretty much the beginning of Harry Potter, been a Harry Potter fan. I love everything about it, the books, the movies, Pottermore, Harry Potter world, everything. Huge fan. And I just thought it'd be a fun idea to kind of scent the houses. In my previous fragrance series where I scent characters, I think I've scented one or two people from the series, but I thought it'd be interesting to kind of scent the houses because each of the 4 houses of Hogwarts obviously have a color, like attributed to them and qualities and stuff. And I just thought it'd be a fun thing to do. So if you like all of that, or if you just want to see, I mean, if nothing more, it'll be kind of in-depth reviews on 4 particular fragrances from my collection. So I hope you'll subscribe and you will follow me on Instagram and just keep watching. So before I actually get started, I did also want to mention, because I've done a video on them before, but since it's like holiday season coming up and everything, everyone's gonna have these great sales, and I want to mention this before it goes up. But if you are interested, because you might notice I always have different nails in every video. I've gotten into gel nails recently in the past couple months, and Nail Addict, who I'm familiar with, these are just like their base and top coats. I have a bunch of their colors. This is more of like a nudie pinkish color right now that I'm wearing, and they have their own like mini lamp as well that I use all the time. They have a sale. I'll put all the description information and links in the description box below, but they have a sale from November 25th to 28th, and it's a really good time to get their nail polishes because they're going to be on super sale and you can get more bang for your buck. So I wanted to mention that before I forget, because I know like me, you guys want a good deal, and I didn't want you guys to miss out. So the sale's in a couple days. I hope you will check it out. But now, without further ado, we will get into the houses. And I thought long and hard about this, you guys. Like, obviously I wanted the colors to match the houses, but I also wanted the vibe to match. And that's what I found hardest to reconcile, making sure that both the color and like the scents match. The houses I've let slide, like don't put any deep thought into the houses, because I felt like that would have just, I don't have that many fragrances, although I have hundreds, to be able to have made that work. So anyways, we will start with Gryffindor, and I'll let you guys know, if I haven't already, if you're watching right now, comment what you think my house is before obviously I let you know, but comment now and we'll see how many of you are right, and what you guys really think of me. But anyways, we'll go on, and I'm gonna start with Gryffindor because I think even people who aren't really into Harry Potter have probably heard of Gryffindor above all the others, because that's where a lot of the main characters of the book and the movie are placed in. So I went with Sexy Ruby by Michael Kors for many reasons. So obviously bottle wise, I think this very much represents Gryffindor. I wanted a red bottle, but I have many red bottle fragrances because red bottles are my favorite. Like, I just think they're the nicest looking ones, especially reds that are clear like this. I brought an example to show you guys. Like opaque red, while nice, I definitely do like as well. This is the kind of red I really think is nice, as opposed to, again, like this red. Again, I do love it though. Red will forever be my favorite perfume color. I don't know why, I just love it. But this, I just think there's something about like a clear red perfume bottle that I love. So I knew I wanted that to be hands down what I went for. I also feel like they would have like a square rectangle vibe. Like, I didn't see Gryffindor, even though they're the most like brave and adventurous and willing to take risks kind of house. I just saw this as being more their vibe. Like, I didn't see them as going crazy out there with their bottle shape. Just based on the vibe. I hope you guys know what I mean, but I felt like Gryffindor would stick to something like that. Then scent-wise, I did want it to be a strong scent, but I didn't think that they would be... I'm going to be spraying all of these. I wanted it to be something that was strong in terms of like kind of a spiced floral way rather than like a very like bitter oud or medicinal type way, because I think Gryffindor, they've also got like an element of fun and youthfulness to them. Like, I think sometimes their adventurous side or their risk-taking side is also, I don't want to use the word immature because I'm not saying it's necessarily mature, but it's maybe not as well thought out. It's kind of like when you're younger, you might be a little bit more impulsive than when you're older, for most people. And this just seemed a lot more fun. Like, I didn't see them as having like a really dark, deep, I don't know, too mature of a scent, but I saw it being like a strong scent. And I really, really like this scent, you guys. I think it was several months ago now. These, I'm pretty sure, actually got discontinued or something was going on, because in Canada, there are 100 mils of Sexy Ruby by Michael Kors in Shoppers were being sold for $19.99. So I snagged one up. I only managed to find one, and I didn't think I was going to like it because Michael Kors is not like a favorite house of mine at all for fragrances. But you guys, this is so good. It's got like a quality of Secret Obsession by Calvin Klein to it, which is maybe one of the reasons I really like it. The jasmine in this is really, really nice, and I feel like it's woody as well. Like, it's not a heady jasmine at all, but it's got a really nice like cashmerean wood vibe to it. It's supposed to have raspberry and apricot in its opening, and I feel like I don't get any raspberry at all. So I wanted to make that clear, because raspberry is a note I kind of struggle with in scent. Like, it needs to be done a certain way, and I don't think the raspberry is very pronounced in this, but there is like a slight rose apricot in its opening, but it's in a really, really nice and actually like not body splash kind of way, if that makes sense. So I really like this. This was 100% my pick for Gryffindor, and I think it is the perfect pick for them, for my collection, of course. Then we will move on to, I thought I'd do Slytherin next. I'm actually very excited about Slytherin because, if you have guessed correctly, that is my house. So I didn't want to be biased, and I didn't want to just make everything about it perfect. But I also know that there are definitely like negative connotations to Slytherin. We get a bad rep, I don't think fairly, but we do. And so I wanted to try to kind of toe the line in between. And I think I was actually very fair, because I've picked a fragrance I don't particularly like, but I think it really matches Slytherin's vibe very, very well. So I picked, and I'm just realizing right now that there's a lot of, there's a lot of reasons why I picked this. So this is Marc Jacobs Decadence. As you can see, obviously it's green. I specifically chose the original, even though I think the flankers are more wearable. I wanted to pick something that was in the fragrance community and in fragrance in general, not like an audience pleaser. Like, I wanted to choose something that was divisive and that was very love-hate and that smelled either like really great or really bad to people, and that was kind of on the extremes, because those are all things that I think people, whether you're Slytherin or not, or whether you don't like Slytherins or not, could relate to for the house. Obviously, the green and all those qualities are reason enough. But then I realized that Decadence also has like this snakeskin purse effect, obviously, to it, and which is perfect because the snake is the symbol for Slytherin. And it just, like, then it just made me think that Marc Jacobs is also Slytherin, because this seems too good to be true. So I actually haven't sprayed this in a while, and I smelled it before this video, and I really seem to be liking it, and I don't know if it's just my mind playing tricks on me, so I am gonna wear it today. I'm gonna put it on. Yeah, I like it today. Okay. There is definitely, the extremes of this is, I think the bad side of it, obviously, is that for whatever reason, the combination of like the plum and iris and saffron, or even like the rose and vetiver, whatever that combination is with jasmine, I'm not sure, will lead some people to smell pickle juice. And that is not inherently a smell that people want to smell like, or want their fragrance to smell like. And I get that, because I really do fall down like the middle of being able to really smell the pickle juice and really smell the nice qualities of the fragrance. And I'm somewhere sort of in the middle, and some days it's the pendulum swings one way a lot more than the other. But in general, because of that, I don't wear this fragrance that often. And I think that also kind of really represents Slytherin. I mean, the good sides of this is I think it has a really like unique and almost undescribable floral, like woody saffron, like almost virgin juiciness to it. There is something very, very alluring about it on the good side. And on the days that I do like it, I really appreciate how unique it is, or at least how unique it was when it first came out, and how for a designer fragrance, and especially Marc Jacobs, who I don't think particularly goes all out there, that this was a little more out there. So those are the good things. The bad things really are that it does sometimes smell like pickle juice, and it is a very love-hate kind of scent. But I think, honestly, this is probably my favorite pick out of all of them. Not trying to be biased. I feel like this is a really, really good pick for Slytherin, and that is my pick for that house. All right, so now I have to go to Hufflepuff. And before I do, actually, I did want to say I would think that Slytherin would pick something, like bottle-wise, I also thought I was going to pick something a little more out there than I did for Gryffindor. I felt like Gryffindor would have a like a more squarish, kind of straightforward, but not as straightforward as Ravenclaw. Then I definitely saw Slytherin going more out there on the bottle, which is the case. For Hufflepuff, that's the next one, I didn't see them kind of breaking the mold and going out there with their bottle shape, but I did see them being a lot more, like, it just seemed more feminine to me. It seemed like Hufflepuff has a feminine energy. I saw more rounded shapes, more ovals, and just, yeah, ovals and circles, rather than with Gryffindor and with Ravenclaw. I saw more like squares and rectangles. So this was also very easy. I picked Light de Gioia by Giorgio Armani. Obviously the yellow color matches, but I have a number of yellow fragrances, and this is the only one that I was like 100% this would be Hufflepuff. I feel like I am not Hufflepuff at all, and yet I feel like I understand the vibe of who they are, because I've definitely had like friends that are very Hufflepuff, and they would be like a generic fragrance loving group. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I never saw them as being someone who would want a fragrance that wasn't inoffensive. Like I see them as wanting something that's inoffensive, that is more of like a daytime scent, that could be worn really from like the office to a lunch date, that obviously was like more squared, circled, that was bright and friendly and was just welcoming, but that wasn't unique. Like I didn't see them breaking any type of like intrigue or interest with the scent. Hopefully that isn't too harsh, but that's just how I saw it. And this is exactly that. Like this is It's a really nice scent. It's very feminine. It's got quite a fresh, uplifting opening, like with bergamot and gardenia, and it's just very like, it's just smiley. I feel like this is very evoking of like a sunny, bright day, someone who's very bubbly. And even as it starts to wear off on the skin, it does have a little bit more of like a musky floralness, obviously, to it with jasmine and gardenia and white musk, but it never gets too powdery or fuzzy, because I didn't see them as being like, that might go a little bit too far. Mimosa Love, I thought, by Amouage, while a perfect yellow color, is too unique and too fuzzy. And obviously like Amouage Sunshine, just this color matched. Like none of those things were really matching up, and none of those are also like audience pleasers. This, even if you don't like this scent, like it's very hard to be offended by it. And that's kind of what I definitely saw for Hufflepuff in general. It's just your run-of-the-mill, nice, approachable, classy, but just friendly, happy, jolly scent. So Light de Joie by Giorgio Armani is Hufflepuff to me. And then finally, last, for all my Ravenclaws out there, I knew out of all of the houses, this would be the fragrance, or this house would have choose a fragrance that was like pretty soft and sat pretty close to the skin, but that wasn't powdery or musky or even like fruity or anything in like a very childish fun way. Like I saw it as being a mature scent, but a scent that was undoubtedly sitting very close to the skin and that wasn't a strong concentration. Ravenclaws are known for being very academic and to kind of seek life's answers through academia and research. They tend to favor book smarts over street smarts kind of folk, and they obviously are like represented a lot more by like intelligence and being libraries and reading and all that stuff. And I just saw them having a scent that was closer to the skin and that was lighter in general and a lower concentration, and obviously blue. And I went with Eau de Bleu, Eau Parfumée by Bvlgari. So this is an eau de cologne. One of the low, I mean, other than a body splash, this is a very low perfume concentration. It does sit close to the skin. It isn't, I also didn't see them as choosing something that was overly sweet. Like I can't imagine them going in the gourmand caramel. Like I didn't want anything overly sweet, overly woody, just something that sat close to the skin, that was proper, that was clean. I also saw, like I see Ravenclaw really liking clean scents, and this is completely that. It obviously has tea as one of the notes, but it's got violet and iris and musk, but none of those are candied or too powdery or too in your face. It doesn't wear a whole lot on the skin, but it kind of wears softly and sits a lot closer to the skin than the other three. And also this one's got some lavender in it. And I see Ravenclaw as being a lot more of a think before you act. Like out of all of them, I think they are the most slow to react because they probably are the least indecisive and reactive of all of them. And yeah, I just felt like it was the perfect pick. They also would be more of like a muted color. I didn't see them, even though the colors in Harry Potter are a lot more bright, like I felt like this would be more of like a muted color for them rather than like a smack you in the face kind of red or a bright, shiny, you know, clearish yellow. So anyways, those were my picks for the houses. I had a lot of fun picking fragrance houses or fragrances for each of the Hogwarts houses. I love this kind of stuff. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Also, if you've ever done the Pottermore quiz, if you're into Harry Potter or anything like that, you can let me know your houses in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know if there's any other kind of movie franchises or anything you'd like me to scent. I love these kinds of videos and I have a lot of fun kind of picking out qualities and then attributing them to scents and doing mini reviews for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to, first of all, check the description box so you can see and the details and kind of read up on the details for the nail polishes, like I said. And I will leave information on all the fragrances in the description box below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.